Well, hello. Yeah, you're not really expecting to see me driving when I'm on the video camera, have you? This is one of the advantages of having a GoPro, to be able to record your stuff, and this is a lot of fun because I'm down here at York and people are not letting us merge. Here we go. So, I am in York, Pennsylvania right now, heading north toward Harrisburg, which is, at the moment, about 30 minutes away. And I have been down here since, 9 a.m. this morning, because I came down for breakfast, and then I came down to do Saturday practice with the York City Derby Dames. And I'm really glad I did. First Saturday practice, I've had a chance to work with them. And, oh boy, it was a fun deal. So, yeah, I've already had my workout. I bought a new helmet. Now I have a hockey helmet. Because in last Saturday's bout, one of the York women, aw shucks, she took a nasty fall and went down hard and hit her head and got a pretty good concussion out of it. But she recovered from it rather quickly. In fact, she just got an all clear yesterday from her doctor, who said that everything is fine, her head is fine. Although, she got a little dizzy today. We were doing a lot of spinning around while we were doing drills, so she got a bit dizzy. It happens. Oh boy. And then after practice and after I bought my hockey helmet, which I will model later, I went and got my costume for our Halloween bout. Yes, I actually came up with the idea for a costume. And, sorry about that, but I have a police officer behind me, not taking any chances. I have a cop behind me. Looks like a state cop. Anyway, here he comes. Yeah, it's a state cop. Let him get by. Yeah, state patroller. So yeah, I have my Halloween costume. I'll speed up a little bit here. Yeah, I have my Halloween costume now, which I will wear to our bout on the 29th of October. Our almost Halloween bout. Our penultimate home game. It's gonna be fun. And I'll take pictures, don't worry, everybody will get a chance to see me. So, Thursday night I was at recruitment night for York, and then last night I went out drinking. Actually, I didn't go out drinking, I had one drink. I had a mojito. I was keeping it easy because I knew I was going to have to come down here early in the morning. And as it was, I went to bed about midnight and did not get up until almost 8 o'clock. I slept pretty long. I slept pretty well. My body telling me that I needed to rest. So technically, I have not done a lot of writing in the last couple of days. I have not started on the next scene. In fact, if you've noticed, I haven't even been writing on the blog. I've been reblogging stuff. Simply because I just haven't had the busy for me. It's definitely hard for me to find the time to actually sit down and do stuff. And it's one of the problems you run into when you go from being a hermit, shut-in, crazy cat lady type person, which is how I was up until I got involved in Derby. And then, before you know it, I'm out every night doing shit. It's kind of insane how quickly your life changes because you take something up that you find interesting. But I'm going to do some writing today. I actually plan on writing my third recap for Fear the Walking Dead, which I need to do because tomorrow night they're going to show, I think, the 5th episode of this back end of the season. So I'm trying to catch up, and I'll watch the 4th episode probably tomorrow. I may even be able to get it out before I watch the episode on Sunday night. So I'm trying to get caught up on that because this week coming up is going to be another one of those practices almost every night of the week. As I'm trying to get better, I'm trying to improve myself. The scene I have to write, the scene I will start on today, is going to be a difficult scene for me to work with. It's going to be a difficult scene because I have to write some stuff about Annie and Carrie that I will admit I'm really not comfortable writing. Some information is, they're going to talk about things that, particularly Carrie, it's going to make her uncomfortable to talk about these things. And as I've stated before, whenever I've found myself in a position where I've had to write things that I know is kind of uncomfortable for the kids, it becomes uncomfortable for me. Basically because I gotta kind of dig down into that well of things that, yeah, this kind of happened to me, and I don't like talking about it. But I gotta put it out there. I forget who it was, but there was a writer that said, you know, you have to put yourself out there when you write. You have to go out to an area that does make you uncomfortable, because that's where the best writing comes from. If all your writing is, you know, see Dick run, run Dick run, that kind of stuff, you don't really have to put a lot of effort into it. But when you're dealing with things, particularly psychological issues with the kids, it's hard. It really is hard to sit down and you gotta dig into that part of your brain that says some of this stuff happened to me, and now I gotta talk about it. It's not a lot of fun. It never is. one of the things you have to do as a writer, you have to be willing to put yourself out there and expose parts of your soul, essentially, to everyone else. I don't know the best way of explaining it, but there are so many times when I've actually had to deal with thinking about what I have to write for Carrie, and in some instances, write for Annie as well. And I'll fret over it for days, knowing it's coming, knowing that I have to put these things out there. And it doesn't make them easier, knowing it's going to happen. It doesn't at all. It's not a lot of fun. Now, Annie doesn't seem to have the same type of issues that Carrie has. And that's because Carrie's more than willing to put them out there on his sleeve for people to see. That's one of the things that Carrie is known for. He has this tendency to, you know, wear his emotions where everyone can see them. Annie doesn't. We know from her conversation with Phoenix that she has daddy issues. She knows she has daddy issues. She has issues with wanting her father to recognize that, well, Annie is a rather spectacular witch. And he doesn't always do that. And she's built up a certain amount of resentment toward him because of that. Carrie's the opposite. Carrie has mommy issues. Carrie wants his family, in particular his mother, to sit there and say, you know, you do well. You are a great person. You're developing into the sort of kid that we never expected. And they don't. And it hurts. It hurts not to have that parental recognition. It's just that, again, in Annie's case, she knows this happens to her, but she doesn't let it show. I mean, you almost never hear Annie talk to anyone about her family. Carrie is really the only one who knows anything about her family. That's it. The Phoenix knows. And I'm sure Deanna and some of the other counselors know as well. I'm sure Helena knows. It's an interesting conundrum in that Annie is like the last person in the world you would expect to have what anyone would call a psychological issue, and yet she does. It's just that she's really good at repressing those issues. Just like she's really good at repressing her emotions. She's done an incredible job over the years of making certain people don't know what she's feeling. Even her parents, you know, she's talked about, I keep my emotions at bay. She went so far in the last novel as to tell Coraline that she won't cry in front of anyone except Carrie. That's it. You know, when you think about it, that's a rather strange situation. In that Annie actually refuses to show emotion in front of anyone other than the one person who's closest to her outside of her family. She doesn't even show that same emotion to her mother and her father. The closest she's ever come is getting upset over the fact that they wouldn't let her have a phone. So I'm going to get started on this episode today, this scene. And once I start publishing the excerpts, if you're going to Disney World, you're going the wrong way. Somebody just went by, we're going to Disney World, but they're driving north on 83. So I'm guessing they just came back from Disney World. But yeah, that's the thing. I'll start working on it. You'll probably see it in the excerpts in a few days. And once we start getting into it, you're going to understand why it's kind of difficult to get through. But you're also going to see how certain things are going to get answered. Certain issues are going to be brought to light, and they're going to be answered. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be informative. It will be embarrassing. It will be. It's going to be slightly embarrassing. I've been running this scene around in my head for a few days now. And by a few days, I mean probably close to a couple of months. Because I've known it's coming. And, you know, it's just, it's one of those things. You gotta write it. You gotta write the stuff and you gotta put it out there. And sometimes you gotta make it hurt. Here comes that cop again. He got off, and actually I saw him sneaking back on the interstate from one of the exits. So here he comes again. Yeah. But that's the thing, you know, we have, I have a sore foot. I worked pretty hard today, and my foot is hurting me. So. But I'm almost home. Been recording for 18 minutes. I'm almost home. I don't have that much farther to go. Probably about 5 or 6 miles. Hold on. I didn't want to look as if I was carrying on a conversation while the state cop was driving by. Coke taste without sugar? No, no thank you. I want my Coke sugared. I want some sugar in that stuff. Yeah. So, I'm actually also going to pick up lunch here too. I'm going to pick up lunch. Yeah, I got to pick up lunch because it's like after 1. I haven't eaten. I had a big breakfast, so I really don't need to eat a lot, but I'm going to get some food here. Probably at about 3 or 4 miles. So this is as good a place after 20 minutes to kill the video. I hope this turns out okay. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you can hear me, but I hope you stick with me and have fun and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Bye.